Hey everybody, Chris here. So there's a lot of uncertainty with Dogecoin and crypto here on a Monday following the weekend and Friday's events of the big flash crash. So we're going to talk about that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when my new videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. And on my Sunday evening live stream on this sort of crypto reset that we were looking at, the first 10 or 15 minutes of that live stream gives you all of the details throughout the weekend that I summed up as to what I believe really happened last Friday. So be sure to watch that. For now, where are we going from here? And you're like, oh, Chris, you're supposed to have all the answers. Well, on Dogecoin, I had set 22 cents as my bottom. And as soon as Dogecoin dipped on Friday, during my Friday live stream, the Dogecoin dump live stream that had already, before the big dump, I was already talking about the pullback, and I bought in the 21s. And of course now we see what happened, and Dogecoin is still lower now. So even the best traders got wiped out. That's right. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody. But where do we go from here? So let's get into it. Let me show you the charts and the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. Let me start here looking at the current Dogecoin chart. We're at 20.5 cents. We were up over 21 here early this morning and again yesterday afternoon. But right now that isn't holding. So short term, it looks like 20 cents is going to be our floor short term. And of course, we've got some bigger numbers down here at 18 cents if Dogecoin comes back to that level. Below that, we could be in danger. Of course, here's the flash crash on Friday. And here's where I bought. After that big first red candle there, I was like, well, that was my sign to buy right there. So I'm still a little down on that, but not too bad. I think Dogecoin is still going higher. However, I get it. There's still uncertainty in the market. Bitcoin is now at 114.2. And as we talked on the live stream yesterday, if you discount the flash crash, Bitcoin is actually still trading okay, and I'll show you what that looks like zoomed out in just a little bit. As far as uncertainty, I mean, it's Monday, right? And here's what Mario NoFall had posted on X on Friday. Something big is coming Monday that could shake up the Doge world and all of crypto. Stay tuned. It's like not only Doge, but all of crypto. Nobody knows what this is yet. Of course, I'm a skeptic, and, you know, something like this that's hyped, the big unknown is like, we'll see. So there's some uncertainty there, certainly, about Doge specifically. And so on my Monday afternoon live stream, we're going to cover whatever this is. So make sure you're subscribed, you got your notifications on, and we're going to see what this is all about. But right now, there's also uncertainty, right? There's a government shutdown uncertainty, right? So we still have that going on, right? So we don't have the ETFs that we wanted, right? Not only Litecoin, Solana, XRP, Doge, Cardano, Polkadot. There was a bunch of them all lined up for October. We don't know when these are going to be able to start trading because the SEC is on this like skeleton staff now and everyone else is furloughed. So we wait. So again, I still think there's one more week in the government shutdown, as I've predicted, but we'll see how that goes. A lot of comparisons going on right now. Bitcoin, the COVID crash of 2020, we talked about that. And again, that dump that happened was like a huge percentage. I mean, Bitcoin was trading up at $10,000 and it went all the way down to 3,600. You know, just under 4,000. I mean, that's like a 60-70% drop. The drop here, what he's calling this tariff crash, which, I mean, it's not that. I call it the Binance crash. And it's a flash crash at that. This ended up not being that bad. It was only like 9-10% at the max. On some different exchanges, of course, had different numbers at the bottom here. 102 is kind of being talked about as the number right at the bottom. And if Bitcoin goes down below 102 for some reason, then we're in a danger zone of a bear market. So a lot of people are calling for that. And then on the leverage side, the COVID crash only had about $1 billion worth of leverage. And this one, the flash crash Binance caused, so-called tariff crash, $19 billion. I mean, historic. And we witnessed it together, but so I don't think that's really a comparison. This is different. So Crypto Rover shows us what happened back in 2021, and we even had big corrections in the bull market of 2021. Of course, we had the big 50% correction, right? And that's when, after May 8th, right, with Doge, and Doge was already getting shorted down, and then Elon Musk posts that Tesla's not going to be accepting Bitcoin anymore for payments for cars. 50% correction. And that was followed later in the summer with a 30% correction. And then in the fall, after Bitcoin was recovering back up to like 50K, it dropped back down into the 30s, a 25% correction. So this thing that we just had is nothing compared to what we saw in 2021. And Bitcoin still went on a follow-up run up to a new all-time high of 69K in November of 2021. So that's not out of the question of repeating that. But this is still, I'm calling it the Binance flash crash. And Oscurza says, if you don't support this call, you will be the next victim. Let's unite and destroy Binance. Never-ending altcoin manipulations. Boycott Binance. Well, again, we're the retail traders. Binance is huge, right? And we know that they're like Oz, right? And they just manipulate the markets, right? And so we don't have a chance against them. I mean, you can do your own little thing that you want and feel good about it. I'm never going to use Binance, but I'm in the United States and I can't use Binance. I don't know it is Binance US, but it's not the same thing, and it's not. I mean, and aside from that, we've got BNB hitting a new all-time high this morning. A new all-time high for BNB. Like, everything else is down, but not BNB, you know? So that wasn't hurt, right? And we know CZ just keeps pumping this thing. Binance could be involved in it too, most likely. So that's a new all-time high. So everything else is down from where it was before the flash crash, except BNB. And now it's hitting new all-time highs. Uncertainty in the market? Yes. But to be honest, brutal. Brutal was the flash crash. The leverage flush was much needed for the health of the market going forward. Open interest on altcoins had been steadily climbing the entire year. And we were watching that, right? And there were some little liquidations that were going on, right? Open interest is leverage trades. But this clear wipeout of the market, Binance, Bybit, OKX, even Hyperliquid, I mean, they're big. So does this look healthier now? Well, we already know they're ticking back up. We saw that on the live stream too. But they were still trying to take out shorts, and there's still a lot of short positions up there. But what about, I mean, people are looking back at Bitcoin again, and they're saying, look, Bitcoin, where's the floor going to be for Bitcoin? So some are saying, you know, back down here at this bottom price at 110, and some say the bottom of the wick on the lowest wick at 102, and then also go down another 10 to 40%, and we're talking bear market. But if Bitcoin can climb back up to 118, 120, then alts are going to full send, and bull market is still on, right? That's the uncertainty there. Where is it going to go? I think it's still going to chop around a little bit in these levels. I think we're not ready to take off yet. I don't see this huge thing coming with uncertainty still across the board. And then we got this guy, the $190 million insider whale that shorted Bitcoin before the Trump tariff announcement on Friday morning, just added another massive short on Bitcoin. So is this insider information, or is this someone who just got lucky on Friday, right? Everyone's like, oh, it's Bear and Trump. Of course, I think that's just a joke and just kind of an internet meme thing now. But Anyway, 20x short leverage. I don't know. I think we're going to just bounce around for a little bit, though. But Ali is like, look, what happened on Friday was far from normal. Some call it a black swan. Others call it extreme manipulation. That's me, not a black swan. Flash crash, right? That's what I've been calling it. Flash crash, right? This is Pengu. This is the Pengu chart. And so Ali's saying, look, most charts now show insane wicks to the downside, but strip out the noise. In other words, just pretend that didn't happen, right? And the market structure is still pretty good. You'll see Pengu holding the structure of this bull flag, and that if we hold this bottom level here, then a breakout up is in play. And what does Dogecoin look like? Yeah, I mean, we look at the big drop, right? We saw what happened with the MACD, like big, huge red candles, like, of course, right? But now look, we've recovered back up, even though it's worth 21 cents. We've recovered back up enough on a 4-hour chart here to have a bullish cross on the MACD here. Of course, that's going to happen with that big of a drop, and then a recovery from essentially like 10 cents to 20 cents. That's a 50%, right, recovery. So you're going to have that crossover. What do we think, though? Dogecoin price forms bullish pennant, right? Same with Doge, as we saw on Pengu. Exchange outflows are spiking. That means investors, big time, are moving coins off the exchanges into hardware wallets for safety. That's what's happening. Yeah, we fell over 33%. Take the flash crash out, we had a low of 18 cents. All right. We've rebounded already 17% from there, right? Not including the flash crash, right? Take that out. Investor nerves, are they easing? What's happening with Trump and the Chinese is going back and forth. The tariff thing is just going to continue. I think everybody's just kind of tired of the tariffs now, but we'll see. But Doge can draw strength in that the loyal investor base is committed to holding Doge, and Doge has seen 10 days of exchange outflows since the start of the month, over $440 million. Coins coming off the exchanges. So it means investors are moving their holdings to self-custody wallets with no intention of selling in the short term. It could reduce immediate selling pressure on Doge to help fuel further gains if retail demand remains intact. On a 4-hour chart, we do see some structure starting to show. Again, a bull flag, bull pennant is forming. And if we get that breakout again back up to 25 cents where we were, that is super bullish to get back up to 25 cents. Again, on the downside, we'll be looking at 18 cents. So those are the two that we're going to be watching. Momentum indicators, MACD, RSI, all support a bullish outlook for Doge, at least in the short term. So all of that showing up. As such, Dogecoin could likely target a move to 25 cents, a level that aligns closely with the 200-day moving average, 19% above the current level. And then, of course, we'll watch 18 cents on the downside. And you zoom out, and the trader tardigrade is like, look, this dip came right down to this upward supporting line. Interesting, very interesting. And this is on the monthly. So on the monthly, we end up with just this big wick down, back up. But we're still October. We could still turn around and end up with a green month. I'm bullish on it still. And then we can jump up to the next zone, over $2. If we follow the same line, now, I'm not expecting that big of a jump, but Alan's like, the chart does kind of support that. So it'll be interesting watching this going forward. Uncertainty, sure. 20.5 cents, that's where we are now. We'll be watching this as we go forward. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this uncertainty. Are you bullish or bearish, or you think we're just going to chop around and remain uncertain for a while? Let me know. Give the video a like if you haven't already. Please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.